Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So in this video I want to talk about stress management, and the reason I want to talk about this is because if you've been following me on especially on my YouTube channel, I've made quite a lot of videos over the years about work-related stress. I've made videos about using a stress container. I've made videos related to stress management, and this is something that most of the things related to stress, people know what they should be doing. They know how they can reduce stress. There's loads of information online. If you Google stress tips, you'll find lots of things. There's loads of books. So the information is out there, but unfortunately, loads of people don't put it into practice. So there's a few reasons for that. One is because certain people, stress is a habit, and it's the same as worry or anxiety. It can become a habit, meaning that you're so used to feeling stressed, you're so used to feeling anxious and worried, that it just becomes a part of who you are. The second thing is people don't have stress management plans. So they keep repeating the same patterns when it comes to stress, but they don't sit and think, okay, I need to put a plan into place. So there's 5 areas really that you should just keep an eye on. You should also review, and you should put things into place, and that will help you to reduce stress. The first one is physical. You need to be looking at how much rest you get, how much exercise you do, what you're eating. It's the connection to stress and your body. So if you're feeling, I sit down a lot of the time because I work as a counsellor, but I try to, go for walks as much as I can. Not as much as probably I could, but then I'll do stretches as well. But I'm always in tune with what my body needs or what my body wants. So if I need to drink more water, then straight away I'll put that into action. If I need to cut down on sugary foods, then I'll do that. If I need to do more exercise as much as possible, I'll try and factor that in. So it's about recognizing that if something is causing you stress, what action are you going to take about it? That's the physical. The second thing is lifestyle, and that fits in with absolutely everything. That's your routines, your habits, how you manage stress, what you do to reduce stress. Lots of people don't actually sit and think about it. They're so used to having certain habits and routines that they won't say, oh, okay, I'm doing 80 hours of work this week. Why am I feeling stressed? And they won't make the connection. When I've worked with work-related stress in particular, people will still be continuing the same actions that they know are causing them to feel stressed, but they won't say, oh, okay, that means I need to reduce my working hours. That means if I'm doing extra hours, that means I need to counteract that with more exercise or whatever it is. So it's looking at your lifestyle. It's looking at, are you doing things that are actually creating more stress than needs to be? And then it's looking at what you can reduce, what you can cut out, what you can change. The third one is emotional. This is around emotional regulation. What resilience do you have in, what resilience have you built? Because stress can't be reduced completely. Stress is a part of life. So it's never going to be the fact that people are, when you're talking about stress management, exactly what it says, it's about managing the stress that comes into your life. It's not about reducing or eliminating, it's not about eliminating it, because we're always going to have some sort of stress. But if you have mental toughness, if you build emotional resilience, it means that when these stressful things happen, you'll actually not thrive off it, but you'll kind of say, well, I know exactly what to do in this situation, or I have the inner resources to deal with this. Someone who is always feeling stressed, a lot of the time it's because they don't believe they have the ability to deal with the situation. But if you build emotional resilience, and mental toughness, then you'll know that, okay, well, this stressful thing has happened. My car's just broke down. Okay, well, this has happened before, or this has never happened. This is what I'll do. It's like the other day, I went to take my car for an MOT. I know it's an old car. it does me fine. In fact, on touch wood, it hasn't, it's lasted for the last 5 years. But I'd always know that something it's gonna fail on. But it never fails on anything major. It's always something small. But on top of that, you still have to have that money available. And that's the whole thing with stress. I took my car to the garage and I knew that there was going to be something. In fact, it was better than I thought, because it wasn't as much as, there wasn't many things. It failed on one thing, and that didn't really cost that much either. It was over £100, so it's still a lot of money. But the point of it is, you know, even when my car was at the garage, I was not feeling like stressed. I wasn't feeling anything. I just was getting ready. I was getting prepared. I was like, okay, tell me how much now, type thing. And it's the same as like whether it's to do with bills, whether it's to do with relationships, whether it's to do, you almost have to predict, prepare, and then take action. So that is what resilience means. And then also this fourth thing is spiritual. What is your connection to religion, to the universe, to the earth, to other people? If you have that level of, you know, connection with, you have to be connected to something. I think lots of people feel stressed, anxious, worried, depressed when they don't feel they have any connection to anything. And that could be to the earth, that could be to, you know, God, it could be to other people. But if you're disconnected, then you're going to feel stressed, because you're going to almost feel like, who do I reach out to? Who do I talk to? Who do I, what is my purpose? What am I connected with and to? So if you build more spiritual connection, and that could be in any way, it doesn't have to always be religion, then I'd say that that would reduce stress, because it's like you have the higher purpose, you have a higher belief that you can get like energy from something. So whether people pray to God and they get their energy and their faith through that, whether people just feel connected to everyone else, so they just feel, you know, we're all in this together, that type of thing, or whether it's connection just to others. There's just lots of research on it, and I might make a separate video about it, but that can reduce your stress. And that leads on to the fifth one, which is social. Who do you speak to? Who do you spend time with? What activities make you feel good? And what activities lift your mood? All of these things are kind of linked, but the point is, if you're trying to reduce stress, it's not about, sometimes people take the not logical, but direct route, where they're just saying, right, I feel stressed about paying my bills. Okay, I need to earn more money and then I can pay my bills. I feel stressed because I don't have anyone to talk to. Okay, I'll go and join this group. But that's okay. But when you're looking at these things, you're looking at a deeper thing. It's a lifestyle thing. It's about changing your lifestyle, changing your routines, changing your habits, so that stress is still going to pop up, but so that you're already in a position where you're going to be less stressed, because you've built resilience, because you've built, you know, a lifestyle where it reduces stress. So, you know, you've built the spiritual connection, you know, you've got the emotional regulation already in check. So if you put all these things in place already, then when the stressful thing hits, like the massive bill that you wasn't expecting, like the bereavement, like, you know, getting ill, like losing your job, or what, all these things that can just come out of nowhere, it doesn't mean you're not going to be stressed about them, but it means your stress levels are going to put you straight into action, where you say, right, what can I do next? What can I do about this? What is my action plan? So I think, yeah, it's doing that really. It's making a stress management plan. It's looking at the areas of your life and building on those things. And then it's just accepting that stress is a part of life, but you don't have to spiral down this path of just being constantly stressed all of the time. So I'll probably do a live stream at some point on one of my YouTube channels about this, where I talked about it in more depth. But if you found this video useful, feel free to share it with other people. Feel free to leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching.